I've personally scaled 4 fitness coaches to over $1 million annually. I know a tour thing when it comes to scaling fitness brands. So if you're a fitness coach, put down the fucking TikTok, put down the Instagram, put down all this bullshit because in today's video, I'm going to be walking you guys through exactly the step-by-step process on how you can scale to 7 figures annually. It is a very straightforward process when I explain it to you. If you stick around to the end of the video, it's going to be broken down specifically step by step on how to do it. So if you stick to the end of the video, you're really going to understand how to get there and how this is even more important than actually knowing, actually implementing the actual process to get there yourself. So stick to the end of the video, watch this full video, and I'll see you on the other side. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ashton Hunter, and today I'm going to be walking you guys through how to get to $1 million a year as a fitness coach. This process is going to be broken down in full. I've been up, it's 12:15 on a Saturday night right now. I've been working on this document for a little bit. I've been going through and compiling and doing some reflection as well on specifically, okay, what is kind of the step-by-step process that the coaches that I've worked with have followed to get to the point where they are now. So I'm going to jump right into it and show you exactly how to do it. So let me zoom in and let's get started. So before I jump into the specifics of exactly how to do this, I want to share with you exactly some of the work I've done. I don't want you guys listening to anyone. I want you to be aware of who I am, what I do, how I do it, etc. I haven't been around in this game for long. As you can tell, I'm not a 40-year-old. But here's the process. Here's the progress I personally made. One of my clients, Paul, scaled to over 150K a month and added LTV. One of my clients, John, we helped add over 40K a month to his current existing fitness business. So this is an addition. Jamie, we helped add an additional 30K per month on top of existing business, which is already 55K. So we scaled all three of these people to 7 figures and annual recurring revenue. And this is pretty much some of the work that I've done. So I've done this before, and the one correlation, pretty much after compiling these results and kind of sitting and thinking, what is it that made these people super successful? I've made this correlation, and it comes down to this one thing: leverage, right? It's very straightforward. 99% of the market is extremely unleveraged. Their inputs are directly tied to their outputs. These people, the reason they were able to scale is because their inputs had nothing to do with their outputs. Obviously, there's a correlation, but they were disconnected to the point of minimal input equals maximal output. So for in-person, for example, let me give an example here. In-person fitness coaches have directly tied money to their presence. For example, fitness coaches in person have to be there in order to get money. They cannot travel, do what they want when they want, and they're tied to a location, basically just trading time for money. This model cannot be scaled upwards of 10 to 20K a month. Obviously, there are strategies, buying a gym, doing all this stuff, but it's taking on a ton of complexity, right? You can scale 10 to 20K a month. And then if you want to scale even higher than that, let's say you take on a few trainers, let's say you take on a new location, you're now adding a shit ton of complexity that lowers your margins, that actually brings you kind of to a breaking point where it just balances back out at maybe 20, maybe 30K a month with adding more people, with trying to get other trainers, because then your margins go down, overhead, etc. It's just a pain in the ass. Tons of complexity, right? And then B, with online coaches, this is another form of people being extremely unleveraged. Online coaches hire themselves to work in their own company. They post all day. They send tons of cold DMs. Then get clients that churn next month. Literally, they'll stay for a month, churn next month. These people will charge $250, $200 a month for a dumb little program or a meal plan or a diet plan or etc. Or these people will spend lots of hours on fulfillment. So they'll onboard a client, the client will give them $500, and they'll spend, it will be a pain in the ass in terms of fulfillment. They'll have their personal cell phone. And then it's just like, how are you going to scale to 30 clients a day? Do the math. right? If you want to make 7 figures, you're going to be having to take on a ton of clients. Sorry, I'm going to have to sneeze. Excuse me. They're going to have to take on a ton of clients all the time. So you basically are limited by the amount of people you can currently take on. Me and my business, I can take on 10 clients a day. That is my capacity. If you give me 15 clients a day, I'm screwed, right? So my business is capped at 10 clients a day. What is 10 clients a day? That is maybe 150K a month. That's capped at 150K a month. So now if let's say I want to scale to 8 figures, that physically doesn't work. It's like trying to fill a volume. It's like trying to fill a Tupperware with more water than it can actually handle. It just doesn't work, right? So these people, in-person coaches, online coaches, there is zero leverage with the way most people do it. I'm going to share with you another strategy here. So pretty much overall, everyone is doing the same thing as everyone. They're in a hamster wheel going around and around all day. If you're an in-person coach, you are directly tying money to your presence, hiring other coaches, your margins go down, you have a gym, your overhead's crazy, your churn's crazy, you're an online coach, you're posting all day, you're on this dumb hamster wheel. For what? What is the end goal? To make a little bit more money? What's a little bit more money? And add an extra 1 to 2K a month for you? Right? Get to 10K a month? To get to 10K a month? Right? Like some of these people, this is kind of off script, but some of these people, they have their end goal is to get to 10K a month. So if you're going to play business, if you're going to do something, go big. I talk about this a little bit later in the presentation, but I just really want to state this. Like if you're going to, start working out, try to actually make something out of it. Get a good physique. Maybe try to get lean and actually try to do something legitimately. Right? So there's no point in going to the gym and saying, oh, I just want to lose 2 pounds. If I have 30 pounds to lose, and that's that kind of it. If you're going to do something, do it well. Right? So what's the ultimate way in business to get leverage and actually make something out of your business? So what is leverage? Leverage simply allows you to get more with less. You can leverage several things. You can leverage and there's more than this. These are just some of the big ones. Code, media, or an offer. These are big ones. Code and media are 2 big ones, really big ones, right? Peter Thiel, billionaire, shared that when massive investors, so he is very well connected in the investing space and private equity and stuff like that. Pretty much when these private investors are looking to invest in startups, there's one thing that they most look for, which will determine the success of a startup. One thing. Is the startup going to be successful? Is the startup going to be unsuccessful, etc.? This is the one thing, and it's a unique insight. So this goes back to leverage, because you can leverage a unique insight to make your company get more out of less. But if you're in this rat race of doing the same thing everyone else is doing with no unique insight, you have no leverage. So how are you going to succeed? You can't. It's impossible. I'm sorry. Right? So you see, when the market gets the same message 10, 15, 20 times over and over, you don't need to make a bolder offer. You need to make something new. You need a new mechanism. People are now I'm sure if you go on, remember those old infomercials you go on TV? Lose 30 pounds in 30 days, right? Then it was lose 30 pounds while you sleep. And then it's, get a 6-pack in an hour. And then the claims just keep getting, more and more exaggerated. You don't need to just keep making it more exaggerated. You just need something totally new. You need a new, unique insight. Does that make sense? The literal definition of innovation is finding a new way to do something that already exists. A unique insight is something new. You are innovating. So pretty much what you're doing is you're seeing all these people, we're seeing this right now, make bolder and bolder claims. Oh, do this, do this, do this, do this. Or sorry, not do this. I will get you this result in X time frame. And they just keep making it bolder and bolder and bolder. What we need to do is just make something completely new. Same result, but a new way to get there. A new train to get to Rome. Does that make sense? So the literal definition of innovation is finding a new way to do something. So all we're doing is innovating a new mechanism. This new mechanism is built on a unique insight. So the biggest fitness brands that have ever existed have always leveraged some sort of unique insight, something new that no one else has been discussing. They have innovated. They have built a new mechanism that is attractive because people want something different. I heard this quote from one of my mentors. And people, when they buy something, they truly think that it's different with every buying decision. Even if someone goes to Starbucks instead of a local coffee shop, they think that Starbucks is different and better for them. If somebody buys a service compared to another service, or they go with this fitness coach instead of another fitness coach, they think in their minds that that mechanism is better. So if you can just innovate and make the mechanism better with something new, then you don't even have to worry about, all of this bullshit because you are just leveraged off of the bat. Does that make sense? So let's look at some big companies here. I like looking at big companies. Apple, Microsoft, Google, Meta, Amazon, Berkshire Hathaway. What do all these big companies have in common? If you guessed a unique insight, you got it, right? Apple. What happened with Apple? Let's just kind of look into this. Apple, started with the Macintosh. It, totally innovated off of current PC and Windows stuff like that. Or not even Windows, just PC, which was even horrible at the time, and made new, slim, sleek, nice user interface. Totally blew it out of the water. They did the same thing with iPhones, right? Google, a search engine that was crazy. That was totally new. Amazon, shipping times. Nothing like that ever happened before. Wide selection. Innovation. Social media with Meta. Innovation, right? So these people didn't just say, okay, here are all the taxi companies out there. I'm just going to start a taxi company, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make my taxis more yellow. They didn't say that. That's what you guys are doing. You guys are going out there. You're looking at all the other competition. Oh, John's doing this. Amy's doing this. All these people are doing this. And you're copying it for yourself, but just cranking the dial a little bit. I'm going to make my taxi company the same thing as yours, but I'm just going to make my taxis more yellow. That's what you guys are doing. Instead of thinking outside the box and making something new. So each one of these companies have had a unique insight and leveraged that unique insight to innovate within their domain. So this should kind of be an awakener for you guys, because if you're thinking at this level and you're like, oh, I'm a fitness coach, I just want to make 10K a month. I just want to make 20K a month, right? Like, I just want to make 20K a month. Why are you here? Why are you on this planet? Because I want to ask you this question, right? If you're a fitness coach and you're saying, oh, these companies are $1 trillion companies, these companies are $1 billion companies, I don't want to go that big. I just want to make 20K a month. If you think like that, you're never even going to hit 20K a month. Because let me tell you this. I said this before, I'm going to say it again. If you aren't going to do this forever, why do it at all? Same thing with your business. If you aren't going to do this, if you aren't going to take this big, if you aren't going to go all the way with this, why do it at all? Same thing as, like, let's say having a child, right? Imagine you say, oh, I want to have a kid, but at the age of when the kid's 3 years old, I'm just going to not really care about it anymore. What? Let's say health and diet. This is, people do, you guys understand this because you guys are fitness coaches. But with health and diet, imagine this. Oh, I'm going to lose, I should probably lose about 30 pounds, but I'm going to lose maybe like 10 pounds and then maybe stay there forever. That's what it sounds like when you guys say, I'm going to get to 20K a month. And then, oh, I just want to get to 20K a month, right? Making a friendship. Do you make friendships for 2 weeks and then, oh, it was nice meeting you, but, bye? Or do you make a friendship potentially with the intent to, have a great friendship for the entire, for your entire life? That could be awesome, right? So if you're in business, if you're here sitting with me right now and you're like listening to the words that are coming out of my mouth, ask yourself, do I want to take this big? Do I want to innovate and make something new? Why am I here? Do I just want to do it and play it the same as everyone else? Or do I want to go all the way? Because if I'm playing this game, what's the point? Right? Is the point to just, make 10K a month, make 20K a month? Or is the point to really scale the fuck out of this and actually get to the point where I can do it forever? This is not a business where you do it for a year. This is, imagine you're doing this forever. That's how all of these people thought. Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, Steve Jobs, all of these people, right? Bill Gates. So, in business, as a fitness coach, you have two choices now. Now that I've presented you this offer of staying small or actually innovating and making something big, a new mechanism, a unique insight, you now have two choices. You can, one, blend into the fitness market and become the same as everyone else. I'll help you lose weight. I'll help you lose 30 pounds in 30 days. Oh, bro, here's my Young LA discount code. Code Josh. Or two, you can become different. You can make a new mechanism off of a new unique insight and scale to the freaking moon and make something that can actually help people. So what were some of the people in the fitness market who innovated and actually made a killing? So this is quite recently, a company called Plunge make cold plunge bathtubs. They are a $500 million market cap. Crazy stuff. They caught onto a trend. They made something completely new. Everyone was at home with their little rinky-dink, feeding troughs with their hose water, leaving it out overnight. They just came in, made something completely new. Boom. $500 million market cap. Boom. CBUM sponsorship. Joe Rogan sponsorship. Alex Eubank sponsorship. Boom. And then they're picking up. Right? Number two, VShred. So VShred was making over 50 million annual recurring with his company, which is crazy. He was making like 3 to 4 mil a month, which is nuts. Pretty much his unique insight was he was pushing a lot of specific supplements that did specific things that were different. So he was pushing a lot of spices. Did these spices actually work? I don't even know. Probably not. He was pushing spices that actually like boost your metabolism or bullshit like that. Did these spices work? Probably not. But it was built off of the same principle as before. It was a unique insight. It was at least something new. It wasn't a diet plan with, oh, do this. Or it wasn't some workout plan with, oh. It was something new. And that's what allowed him to make this killing, right? He ran a bunch of ads, primarily on YouTube, specifically advertising a new mechanism, a new way to get the same result. And that's what allowed him to scale. Number three, Derek, more plates, more dates, makes about 4 mil a month, which is nuts. He, scientist, pharmaceutical guy. What he did, he made Gorilla Mode with the concoction based on his knowledge, and made a totally new mechanism with more pump ingredients, more X, Y, Z, 1, 2, 3, nootropics, etc. that people found out about, people knew about, obviously because of his audience, but also due to the fact that he innovated and made something new with his knowledge, right? 3, Whoop, stupid fucking little wristband. It's going crazy right now. Peloton, for example. Peloton's $1 billion company, right? And they make bikes that sell for like 20K, right? But they made something new, and they made something that innovated, right? So now you're thinking, you're like, okay, how do I make something new? How do I have a unique insight? How do I even get this unique insight in the first place to go and make something new? How do I even do this? Right? So pretty much you can't innovate the end goal. So remember this, you can't innovate the end goal. So you can't innovate losing weight. You can only innovate the process of getting to the end goal. Remember this. And the only way you're doing that is lowering pain and increasing pleasure. And it doesn't have to be actual, it can be perceived. Perceived pain and increasing perceived pleasure, right? The easiest way is to productize. You have got to make a new mechanism. You have to find something new, find a unique insight. If you're going to remember one thing from this video, innovate a unique insight, something new, new mechanism. So how do you find a unique insight? Let's go through this. This is the most important part of the video. So pay fucking attention. Make sure that phone is away. I don't want to see you looking at TikTok. So number one, you have knowledge. So everyone has knowledge. If you're a baby, if you're 8 years old, everyone has a base of knowledge, right? What these people do is they then have this knowledge, and then they have a comprehension of this knowledge, right? So for example, if I have a ton of knowledge, but I can't understand that knowledge in terms of comprehend that knowledge, then I'm screwed. If I read a book and got a bunch of knowledge from that, but I don't know shit about it, but I just memorized it, that's not comprehension. You have to understand and comprehend the process. This applies a lot with sales as well. People understand these techniques about, oh, assume the close, oh, do this, oh, do that, but they don't actually understand and actually know the specifics of when to use them because they can't comprehend the principles, right? Level 3 is application, right? So you now have to be able to apply this knowledge, right? A lot of people get stuck here. This is where a lot of people get stuck because you look at people who are really smart. You look at people who go to school. Look at professors, right? They know everything. They comprehend everything, but they can't apply something to a business. They can't take something and go run with it. It's the same with fitness. People know how to get in shape, but they can't take that application, right? And then they pretty much analyze what they did, right? So they go out, make this application, and then they analyze the process of what they did. So for example, I go out, I try to lose weight, and I find that I'm not losing weight. Okay, I analyze, then I try something new. And then I try something new in application to see if that works better or worse. It works better, we keep doing it, whatever. Then pretty much synthesis is forming a bigger insight off of the overall process about how to do it, right? And then level 6 is judgment, where you literally become like Neo. You're like super locked in and you know everything about everyone. You're like this overall judging person of the entire marketplace, not just the synthesis over the entire process, everything at this point you are building there, right? So right now for me, I'm in this like level 4 to level 3 stage. I'm still applying, I'm still analyzing, I'm still seeing what works, I'm still seeing what doesn't. But in order to get the best unique insights, you have to run this process many, many times. A unique insight doesn't just pop into your mind. It doesn't just like, you're not just taking a shower one day and an idea just pops into your mind. You have to constantly be applying the comprehension of what you know and then analyzing and seeing if you can even get to a level of synthesis of making the mechanism. Because the mechanism, this uniqueness comes at a synthesis level. So you have knowledge, maybe you have some comprehension, maybe you can take some action. Cool. But I need you to take more of that. I need you to apply harder. And I need you to consume more knowledge so that you can apply more of that knowledge to potentially getting more feedback. And the more you're able to run this, the higher chance you are of actually getting a unique insight. And that unique insight is what is going to help you scale to the moon. That unique insight is going to give you a gap. It's going to give you something that's going to allow you to get to the next level. Tim Ferriss saved up $100,000 and invested that $100,000 into Uber. And now he's worth over 8 figures. Well into 8 figures. Like well into 8 figures. I think maybe even 9 figures. I'm not 100% sure. Right? How did he do that? He did that through application, understanding, right? And then having this unique insight and applying it, right? He had all of this knowledge built up. He knew what to do. He knew how to do it. And he just took the action and did it. So this is pretty much the video. I went through a few things. Overall, if you're a fitness coach, number one, you have to get leveraged. How do you get leverage? You get leverage through something new. You have to create a new mechanism. You have to create something new that people want, not just the same bullshit that everyone else is doing. Tell people about your new thing. Tell people about the new way to get in shape, the new way to get X result. Something new, man, right? And we went through some other results, and then we kind of just went through some mindset stuff of like, if you're not going to do this forever, why do it all? Go big, man. Right? You're playing this too small. If you're in business and you're not trying to minimum make 100K a month, questions. Ask yourself questions. Why are you doing this? Scale bigger than you think you can. And that's pretty much it. If you enjoyed the video, leave a thumbs up, like, comment, subscribe. Let's go.